Welcome to Welcome with Jesus Bible Study. We're going to be in the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verses 3 through 5. Verse 3. But fornication and all uncleanness or covenantness, let it not be once named among you, as becometh saints. 4. Neither filthiness or foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks. 5. For this ye know that no whoremonger, nor unclean person, nor covenantless man, who is an idolater, hath any inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and of God. Let me repeat that. 3. But fornication and all uncleanness or covenantness, let it not be once named among you, as becometh saints. 4. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks. 5. For this ye know that no whoremonger, nor unclean person, nor covetous man, who is an idolater, hath any inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and of God. We all know that when we come to Christ, that we are to get rid of our worldly things, the sin of ourselves. Most see it, as it was written here, plain as day, see that we're not supposed to, do certain things. I'm trying to find the correct words, do things ourselves, in case there's some kid that gets a hold of this video. You know what I mean. Nor are we to have relations. I guess that's the best way to put it. Not relations with ourselves or relations with other people if we are not married. And that doesn't mean that you can have relations with yourself just because you're married. You're not supposed to do that at all. Married or not married. God sees it as a sin. Your body is a temple. You should not be doing such things. But pay close attention to a lot of words that is in here that a lot of people tend to ignore. Let's go back to verse 4. Filthiness, nor foolish talking or jesting. Foolish talking nor jesting. See, a lot of people overlook such things and just get right to the sexual context. And we can't do this, that sexual immorality, all this. But what about those dirty jokes? And I'm not talking about jokes that tend to be just all about sexuality. I mean, when people are just plain out joking, insulting, acting foolish. Those things are not okay. I know there's a lot of people say, oh, that joke's gone too far, or that is just too raunchy. There's a lot of people that joke about, dead things. I can't say other words on here. But a lot of people kid about people being kidnapped and being mutilated and, such awful things like that. And they seem to find it funny. I used to be one of those people that could make up. Well, I'm very quick-witted. So I can get you with any comeback. And I haven't, it was hard to beat me in anything because I always had something more funnier, more worse to say than what you had come with. And it come with being a military brat and working as a bartender for years. That, I was just on top of my game when it came to such things. But there's a lot of jokes that go a little bit way too much of this and that. Here, this verse is speaking of such thing. It's foolish talk. In fact, it says, if your mouth is not speaking of things of thanksgiving of love and kindness, you shouldn't be speaking them at all in a jokingly manner. In fact, there's another scripture that says that when I was a child, I did such things, but now that I'm grown, I put away such childish things. We all get it when we're a little kid, that, the fart jokes we hear, fart sounds, and we laugh, we giggle. Certain things, those little things are kind of funny. They're kind of cute because you're a child. That's the only time it's sort of cute. But a grown person knows to act better. You're supposed to be more mature. It's okay to be different when you're joking around, sitting around with kids, being of that nature. But to be grown folk and to be sitting around and talking in such manner, acting in such a manner, even doing these actors foolish things. We're called to grow up. There's a time and a place for everything. Now, as a grown person, if you're around a bunch of kids because you're babysitting or they're your children or you're playing around, it's a different thing to be funny and to be cute and to do all those little things. But what is not cute and what is funny is grown people making jokes, hurting people's feelings, bullying. There is more grown people that bully other people than there is children that bully children. In fact, the only times you start seeing bullyingness comes to be more powerful as kids tend to get older. They tend to become bigger, more bullying going on. It's funny, you just don't see such things to little kids. It's not in their nature. As we tend to get older and bigger, we tend to take our feelings out on other people. If we hurt inside, we want other people to hurt. See, that's why we need God in our heart. We need to make sure that if we don't want to feel that way about ourselves, why would we want to make somebody else feel that way? Most of the people that are the biggest clowns that go through life and make people laugh are the most saddest people in the world. They make it a point to make everybody laugh because they hurt so much and is so sad on the inside. They don't ever want nobody to feel that way. And I can raise my hand to being that type of person growing up. Everybody always told me how funny and hilarious I was. And always be laughing at the wrong time. So this is not the time or the place because I didn't want people to feel sad. I didn't want people to hurt. So no matter where it was at or what situation it was at, I could sit there and find a joke or make a joke out of something just to make somebody laugh because I'd rather see them laugh than to see them cry. I know what it's like to be in pain. I know what it's like to suffer. I know what it's like to be sad and so hurt. There's no way I want anybody else to ever feel such things. That I made a point that who was ever around me would not feel that way, that it would not be left out. Many people live that life, but then there's people who don't. Many people want to pass that pain on to other people. They want other people to suffer. They want other people to feel the way that they do so they don't feel so alone. Because yes, when you're the person who's all broken inside and you don't want nobody else to feel that way, so you make it a point to not. It is a lonely life. It is very lonely because you're the only one. A lot of people don't have the strength to be the lonely one. So therefore they make it a point to make everybody feel as miserable as they do. And so it is very true what they say, that misery loves company. Because most people cannot hack being alone. In fact, it's a very even stronger person to live that lonely life of making sure everybody lived happily when they was living in such pain. Hardly anybody takes that road. Why? Because it's spreading love in their time of need. It's spreading love in their time of pain. It's spreading love in their time of need. Most people refuse to give if they're not getting anything. So very rarely do you find many people that is willing to give, no matter what it is that they're giving, when they're in pain and in sorrow, especially when they're all alone. But that's what God calls and asks us to do. And a lot of people call those people weak, call them doormats. The fact is, they're not weak at all. They're some of the strongest people that you ever know. Because to go what they have gone through and to turn around and still give love is one of the strongest things that most people could ever do. That most people would never ever be able to do. In fact, most of the things that most people who have empathy for people, who constantly give after they've gone through so much. There's many people who's gone through hell 3 or 4 times, to come back, has been thrown back down and is called back out. And all they do is still give and give and give. God bless their hearts. Nobody can do it once, let alone 4 or 5 times. And still have that heart of gold. And still have that heart of love. Because Satan doesn't want you to do what God asks you to do, to love instead of hate. He wants you to be caught up in your emotions. He wants you to treat people the same way that they have treated you. He wants you to spread that negativity. He wants you to spread that hate. He doesn't want nobody to ever feel loved. He does not want love to go around this world. Why? Because love is God. God is love. He doesn't want that kind of love to go around. He doesn't want people to come to a realization that love is God. And if all this love is going around, people are going to start seeing God in everything. Because there's love in everything. So he wants people to be caught up in their emotions. To live in their emotions. To pass their emotions on. To pass the anger. To pass their hurt. To make people suffer. And that's why you will see and find more people doing things to other people that have been done to them, instead of putting into it and no longer passing off that hate and that pain and that suffering to other people. It's very hard to find somebody who gets put through all those things that turn around and pass out love. God bless all the people that is going through any and everything right now. May you find the strength in God to let it go. And not to pass it on, but to pass off love instead.